Hello, guys. Before we get started on OOP, I just kind of want to give you an idea of the future or where this could be headed to. And everything I'm going to be showing you, I'm going to give you the links towards it so you could go and do a detailed search or viewing of your own, right? And you got to remember that all of this, it's still just an idea. What I mean by an idea, sorry, I meant it more as it might not be the full truth. Okay, so let's start it off, and you'll understand what I mean. So the first one is this survey that Stack Overflow takes every year, and in the case of 2020, the 2021 is being taken right now, but in the case of 2020, there was 65,000 developers, right? But in reality, in the world, there's millions of developers. So this is might be a more of a specific people. So it doesn't represent everything, but it's a good idea. And out of those 65,000, there are professionals who get paid, and there are students who are just students. So in both cases, take it all in and you make the final conclusion for yourself. But let's go check it out. This is an amazing thing to give you ideas of where to head towards to or what's in it for you in the long run. So you could navigate this by scrolling down, or you could click on any of these links, which gives you, it's a menu towards that. So in this case, 65,000 people responded to this survey. Uh, let's figure out who these guys were. So the first part is the geography, where they come from. And you could see this is kind of showing you where they are. And a big part of it, 13%, is from India. And if you're coming to Canada, for the people that answered was 3.4%, and United States 20-ish percent. So you could kind of see where the answers are coming from and how much they would affect you. You could see we got a bigger on United Kingdom, or a lot of Europeans actually. Now, what kind of roles those people have while answering this survey, you could see it's a lot of different things, mostly developers in the back end or a full stack developer. Now, interesting enough, OOP that we're going to be learning could actually be, well, it most likely is, and most of these things. Let's say the first five definitely is in it. DevOps, you could utilize OOP to make it better, but it does not require it, right? System administrator, developer, etc. It goes on. So the OOP is actually being used in a lot of places, and we'll talk about that as we go there. So the experiences of these guys, you could see here that a lot of new people are coming in every year. It's normally around 20% every year. There's a new batch of people coming in and coming into the community, coming into being a professional is what I'm trying to say. They get paid. And the only thing I would like you to understand here is having this huge amount of people coming in, you need to make sure you make yourself be remarkable, make yourself stand out. And the only way to do that is to create portfolio, to make sure that your knowledge is solid, so that when you interview for one of those top companies, you're going to be one of those that actually get interviewed and actually get the job that you want, right? But mind you, even though there's 20% coming in and you might not get, let's say, the Google job, you still get a job. What we want to do is get the better job so we get paid more early on, or get a better job where we're happy with the job we're doing and not hate it. Anyway, let's go down. Education wise, let's go down there. Education wise, you'll notice that a lot of people inside programming come from different backgrounds. One thing I don't like about students that I'm getting from India is that they always would tell me I'm from this background or that background. Well, it doesn't matter which background you're in until you get started, until you practice, you'll learn whatever you need to learn, right? You didn't learn to speak English because you had a background in English. No, you got the background in English because you started learning English, right? So if you bring yourself down, you obviously won't learn anything. So make sure to kind of have a good attitude in this and practice, practice, practice. So inside this education, there's a lot of people that, yes, there's a lot of people that have bachelor's or master's, but there's a lot of people that don't have any degrees and they're making more money than anyone with bachelor's or master's. It does happen. You just have to be good at this. It doesn't need to have any degrees related to it. So what we're going to do in this degree that we're learning is to hopefully get you that level or that skill. So make sure you utilize me and ask me all the questions you need. So we're gonna just go down. I don't think we need to know about that. Let's go talk about technologies. This is a bit more interesting stuff. So figuring out what's the most popular technology currently. Again, it's a survey. It could, based on the people that goes on this website, you get different results. So in this case, you'll notice that JavaScript is the most. Again, does it mean JavaScript is the most used language or something like that? Not really. This is just means there's a lot of people asking questions, right? You got to understand that Stack Overflow is like a question and answers forum. So something that's a bit more, let's say as an example, Java, there's not as many questions asked because all the questions been asked for the last 30 years, right? And there's new stuff coming out, but there's going to be less and less because you'll find your answers online, right? So you got to kind of take this with a grain of salt. But it kind of gives you an idea of all the new people coming in or the language popularity with newbies or students or etc. You could see that it's much higher inside JavaScript or web development, right? Does it mean you get paid more? That's again a different question. Okay, so again, make your own judgment at the end of all of this. So most loved, dreaded, and wanted. So this is an interesting one. The most loved language are the people that love Rust. So whoever uses Rust, they still love it to their core. And you could see where people stand with their languages that they use or prefer. Dreaded ones are the ones that are painful. And you could see if you have a background in programming, VBA and Objective-C, which is understandable. Perl is really hard. You could write Perl, but you could never read Perl code. Anyway, it's a really interesting thing. It kind of tells you maybe stuff that you want to maybe avoid, right? Assembly language, I don't know if you guys ever touched that. These are really hard. C for me is pretty okay. PHP is pretty ugly, but and you could see you go down, and again the Rust is people love it. I don't know. I never used Rust, so I wouldn't know. Some languages that you will be learning in this program, Kotlin is pretty nice. It's really nice. I think you're also going to be learning Swift. There it is. Swift is also a really nice language. And in my course, I'm supposed to teach you inside Java, which is an okay language in my opinion. Let's keep going down. So the environment, now top paying technologies. Now this is probably more interesting for all of you guys. So the top paying technologies, we got to read a bit on this, but I think it's mostly like what languages are with the highest salaries worldwide. I'm not really sure because I know people in Perl that get paid higher than this. It's the median. Okay, so the median of that salary of all the people that answered the survey. So you could see Perl, again, it's a really hard language. They get paid really high, right? But you're gonna suffer for that. And again, this is not reflective. It could be that someone from, let's say, Julia gets paid way more than someone from Perl, but the median, let's say the average, they get paid that around in worldwide states. So the one we're going to be concentrating in this course is going to be Java, which is a bit low inside the median of worldwide. And at the end of this program, you should know Java. Well, you should know OOP, which could allow you to go in any of these. You should know Kotlin and Swift. If we're talking about United States, this thing changes a lot because United States get paid a lot. So you could see already that the salaries jump, right? Globally, we're going low. United States, we're going really high here. And again, the ones that we're interested in, Swift at 125. And again, these are median salaries. Java at 120. I'm missing Kotlin. Where are you, Kotlin? There we go. Kotlin at 130. Right? So again, figure out. There's some other stuff to go into. Actually, this is the last one I'm going to get into. I'm going to skip the rest. Otherwise, we'll be here for an hour. Correlated technologies, they're kind of related to each other, or you'll be using them together. A great example would be the Raspberry and the Raspberry Pi and the Arduino. You would kind of use them together. Notice here, if you're doing Android development, you're mostly going to do either one of these languages, Java or Kotlin, right? You could use a framework such as Flutter or something else, okay? Normally, when you develop for Android, you're also developing for iOS, so you could see there's a correlation, there's some connection that's going on. For databases, inside Android, you'll most likely do Firebase or SQLite, whichever one you use. You might use some frameworks for utilizing them, blah, blah, blah. But it kind of gives you an idea. If you want to go Android, what should you learn? Or what should you look into? Same thing goes for the web area over here. You could see JavaScript is kind of in the middle of everything, and this is really important. Anyway, moving on. So the rest, I'm going to let you look into it yourself. If you have any questions, you could tell me that location. Any questions you have, I'll be glad to answer it. Now, this might not be perfect. So there's another one that's interesting. Is the popularity of a programming languages for people looking to learn that language, right? So this is for anyone that went on Google and started saying, I want to learn Java. Find me Java tutorials. Find me Java classes, courses, etc. So this kind of tells you the amount of people that are learning something and coming in. And if you could see that, the first one is Python. A lot of people want to learn Python as their first language. Mind you, again, even though you're learning that, the job market for Python is not that great. There's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not going to get into with you here, but if you want to know, let me know. For Java, in this case, they own 17% of the shares of people coming in, and it hasn't really budged. It used to be first, now it's second. And to be honest, it might go down a lot over the time. However, even though it might go down as something to start learning, it's still one of the highest job markets out there. Some other notable ones, JavaScript, which is really good. C# is really fun. Let's say Swift and Kotlin, you could see they're kind of neck and neck. These guys are gonna grow a little bit more. They're really nice languages. Kotlin especially, because it's not limited to just mobile. You could use it for any type of development and so forth, so on. So this is another good place to check out and understand a bit more about where you're going into. And lastly, this is utilizing Google Trends. So lastly, what we could do is go on Google Trends and figuring out what people are searching. So are people searching Java? And you could see from the moment that they have this data, 2004, and this is 100%, it's been lowering on the search terms. But mind you, this is searching Java by itself. Well, if you would have searched, let's say, Java with something else, it might have a different type of data. Inside Canada, you'll notice that Ontario has the biggest interest in Java, while Quebec, we're leading in second. Okay, so it kind of tells you where you could kind of also maybe go work. Not fully that, but it gives you information the more you look into this. You could see some related queries about it, such as the new Java 8 that's coming out and how it's been doing. Again, 2004, there is no such thing as Java 8. And when it came out somewhere in, I guess, in 2014, maybe here they started talking about it, previews, and it finally came out. You could see it's a big trend. And it's been keeping its flow. And recently it's been lowering because, well, there's Java 9, there's Java 10, 11, 12, 13. Right? So this gives you ideas. And again, you got to do your own research and so forth, so on. So maybe if we look up, I don't know, Java 13, let's see how that's doing. I don't know why there was searches then, but and again, this is a percentage, so there might have been like one or two searches then. It just recently got released, maybe. I don't know what's going on. And it's only in Ontario. Anyway, so I hope that kind of helps you and a bit of guidance to figure out where you're going with all of this. If you have any questions, be my guest, post it on Slack, and I'll answer you as soon as possible. See you guys in the next video.